In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 things you do every night when you go to bed in dream state that you're not even aware of, and when you know these things, it changes the way that you relate to life in a completely new way. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 things that you think you're doing when you go to bed, but in actuality, you're doing much more than that. But the more you become aware of who you are at a greater level, the more you'll open yourself up to these types of things. The more memory you will retain from when you go to bed at night to how you do what I'm going to be explaining to you, which has to do with understanding the greater part of you. Because this experience on earth that we're having, we forget who we are at a greater sense. We forget that we are immortal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences. And one of the reasons that is because there's a veil of forgetfulness. When we incarnate into this system, into this reality, we forget that, because part of the beauty of this game is that we can go through the process of waking back up. So in a way, we go into this hypnosis of forgetting so that we can remember, because that makes for a beautiful experience. Also, it's the way that this reality works. It's almost like if you were playing a video game and you knew the whole entire time it was a video game, you would treat it a certain way. You'd have a certain feel about it. But if you were to immerse yourself in a video game, not knowing whether it was real or not, well, you're going to make decisions very differently than you would if you knew it was a game. So that's one of the reasons we go through this veil of forgetfulness. And part of this has to do with simply because we wanted to go through the process of waking back up to who we are. And right now on the planet, this is a time of waking back up to who we are. You may look around and notice that more and more people are waking up every day. More and more people are open to this kind of information. And one of the reasons that is because there is an ascension of vibration happening on the planet. There is more people becoming aware that there is something going on. And if you were to look to people and why they chose to be here right now, at a greater soul level, people here knew that this was going to be the time of transformation. At a greater level, everyone here knows that this is a time of transformation, but the ego mind may not understand it. Unless you watching this video, then obviously you already with it and you're ready. So let's understand first off that we are multidimensional. And multidimensional means that we exist here, but we also exist in other reality systems as well. We have existences, it's going to sound a little bit cray-cray, we have existences on other planets. And a lot of these planets are of higher dimensional states of consciousness. They are things we can do there that here would look like magic. There are ways that we don't even use language to communicate, because you would use that of telepathy. There are reality systems where we're able to disapparate and appear wherever we want by using the power of thought. There are realities where we think of something and it instantly appears. That's actually closer to the way reality really works. It's just that here the vibration is slowed down so that we can have more experience. Imagine in the higher dimensions you're chilling, you think of something and it instantly happens. You can't really experience karma because everything is instant. Everything is moving at such a high vibration. So what you say is, you know what, I want to soak in the experience. When I think of something, I want to be able to go through the present moment, feel what it's like to manifest something, and go through this process and learn about the different angles and all these different things. So what we decided to do was to come to a place like Earth where things have slowed down, but now things are picking back up. Vibrations are continuing to raise more and more. So understand first off that you exist here and you exist at many different levels at the same time. You have existences in different star systems. And just think about it like this. You are an immortal spiritual being that is timeless, that is eternal. Would you incarnate all of your energy in just one reality system like Earth, just over and over and over again? You're too vast of a being to even do that. That's why we have these existences at different levels, and now on the planet it's about us becoming aware of it. Now, here's the first thing that you do in dream state that you don't even remember. When you go into dream state, what happens is you go to bed, your physical body goes to sleep, you wake up in your astral body and higher dimensional bodies. You could say that it's almost like that Russian, you ever seen those Russian dolls where it's like the different layers? In a way, you go to sleep in one and you wake up as the larger part of you, which is actually closer to reality as well. So you go to bed, then you are awake in these higher dimensional states of consciousness, and there you are much more aware of these different versions of you. You are much more aware of the parts of you that are multidimensional, that exist on higher states of consciousness. And what you are doing is you are awake as those versions of you. You are going around doing different things at different levels, but you may not remember it. Because it is things also that may be beyond the five senses. We have the five senses that we experience reality through, and we have the brain that can only really interpret things through past reference experience. So if we were to know what it's like in the higher dimensions, it would be beyond that of what we experience through our five senses here. And because of that, we may not actually even remember it. So that's one reason we may not actually even remember it, is because it goes beyond the five senses that we have right now. But when you go to bed at night, you are awake in these higher states of consciousness. You just simply don't remember. You may actually be doing things. You may be traveling through the stars. You may be connected to your whole star family. You may be doing things. There's even the astral planes where you could be talking to people that have deceased from the past. You could be talking and helping other people. There are many people that say they have dreams of being in a quote-unquote like a form of school. I've had many dreams like that before. We're here right now, but in higher states, we're also learning, going through certain processes, helping the collective wake up, influencing the subconscious mind of us and other people. Because as above, so below. So we go through these different connections, and we literally wake up as this higher dimensional version of us that knows there is an ascension happening on the planet. The version of us that's connected to many different extraterrestrial races, which at a greater level, those extraterrestrial races we are connected to. Not just the metaphorical way like, oh, we're all one, yes, I get it. No, literally, there are aspects of us that are connected there, and we are connecting to them. So this is a part of the way it really works, is when we go to bed at night, we don't remember. And the more you become aware of this, though, set the intention. Set the intention when you go to bed at night that you remember some type of memory from this, even if it's a symbolic form. Because like I said, our brain may not be able to understand what is happening at these higher levels. But set that awareness and see what comes up. See what kind of information comes up. See what kind of information you get from your guides. Which brings me on to the second thing you do every night when you go to bed that you may not be aware of. The second thing you do is you meet up with your guides. We all have spiritual guides. Some of these spiritual guides may be people that we've known in the past. They may be people that have passed away on the earth plane. They may be extraterrestrial connections that we have. They may be higher self versions of us that we think are other spiritual guides, but are actually other versions of us. And these spiritual guides are communicating with us every single night when we go to bed, helping us through this process, because they're always in that realm for the most part, so they're able to perceive of things a little bit further than we are. When we look around, we experience reality in a way to where we focus on what we have in front of us, but they're able to see on the mountaintop. They're able to see the whole valley, so they're able to help guide us through this process. Now, what you think of many times as dreams when you go to bed, think about it like this. You are going to bed, and when you go to bed, you let your physical body rest. You leave your physical body, you then absorb into what is called your astral body, and then you go off into the higher realms of consciousness. Now, when you wake up in the morning, what happens is you come back, physically speaking, to that of your physical body. Now, when you do so, you go through that in the astral planes that's around the earth, and you go back into your body. What you think of as dreaming is only really the last about 5 minutes of you coming back into your body. But you may think, oh, I was dreaming for 8 hours. Well, you were awake in higher dimensions, higher states of consciousness, and then you came into your body, and the memories you get are going to, and the dreams you get are going to depend upon your vibration. So sometimes the people have things they're really thinking about before they go to bed, or they aren't feeling so great. What they'll connect to in the astrals when they're coming back into their body may be lower vibrational astral forms, meaning they may have bad dreams because as they're coming back into their body, they're going through the astrals, and everything that is of a worry vibration or whatever negative vibrations they're feeling is attaching to their experience, and they have a quote-unquote bad dream. But many times, if you set the intention especially, you will have dreams that show you some symbolic thing. So that's what I do when I go to bed. I set the intention that I connect with my guides and that my guides help me to understand something I'm working through in my life, something that will help me to shift an area of my life, and I'll get some dream that's very obvious, that's like, do this, this is what you can focus on. So these are things we do every night when we go to bed, but we simply don't remember. And the third thing we do every night when we go to bed, but we don't remember, is we literally are planning out appointments for our next day. This does not mean that every single thing is planned out the day before. Like me touching this plant, there's like a soul contract. This is a soul contract that happened for the day before, and you knew you were going to touch that plant at exactly whatever time it is. But in actuality, there are certain appointments that you make. Maybe you set this appointment that there's going to be someone that walks in at a certain time when you go to the gym or something, and then you talk to that person. Or there is some opportunity when you're out and about, and you something pokes out at you. You look at a book and it really pops out at you, and it makes you start thinking, and it gets your mind on a new timeline. So what we're doing when we go to bed at night is we're planning out certain timelines, certain experiences that we want to have. And sometimes certain things won't catch. Sometimes you'll have a certain appointment that you made, but you have free will. So maybe you don't actually experience that, but what your guides will do and what your higher self will do and what you'll do in dream state is help to facilitate probabilities. Well, maybe we'll plant this thought. You know, there's times we get downloads throughout our day from our guides and from higher dimensional beings, and we'll get these ideas that we don't know where they come from. These ideas come from higher dimensional states. They come from our higher selves. And those may actually lead us to certain timeline probabilities. So these are things that we do when we go to bed at night, is we pay attention to these different probabilities. Maybe it's you and a soul contract with someone that you're meant to be with in your life. That soul contract, you said, we're going to be together in some way. And you haven't met this person yet. But in the higher realms, you're planning out. So if you simply trust the process more, you'll allow yourself to then plan out and see that you'll be at the coffee shop at the right time when they walk in. I know that's the most stereotypical way of looking at it, but could be something like that. Or a friend introduces you to this person. Or maybe it's some type of career or job that you know that you're meant to be having, that you're meant to be shifting in your life. And then you go out somewhere and somebody that owns a company starts talking to you and you start to hit it off. And then you have a new job opportunity. You see, we, in a way, if we trust the process more and we understand this process, when we go to bed at night, we will realize that we are also planning out certain things for that of our life, certain appointments. But the key is to be in alignment. To be in alignment with our heart, be in alignment with what we're passionate about, and just simply knowing this. Simply knowing that you are an immortal spiritual being living a temporary human experience, that this is an avatar that we experience the five senses through. Knowing that, it allows us to then tap into more of our true power. It allows us to then raise our vibration to a new state of consciousness, and knowing that everything is exactly how it should be. Everything is a part of the plan. But understand, every single night when you go to bed, you are awake to a part of you that you can barely begin to imagine. This is very, very empowering. The more you become aware of this divine you, because you are divine. You are a divine human being, and you are a spiritual being having this kind of experience. The more you realize you are divine, the more your life will appear to be heaven on earth. So understand that you are a divine being, and that you came here for a reason. And you're becoming more aware of who you are now. And now that you know these things, when you go to bed at night, there's a possibility and a probability that you will remember more of this. Set the intention before you go to bed to know this. Set the intention to connect with your guides. Set the intention to receive information throughout the day. And you will begin to get more and more information of this. So these are the three things you do every single night when you go to bed. You are awake in higher states of consciousness. You are with your guides. Your guides are helping you through certain processes, helping you to move through things, and then at a higher level as well. The third thing you're doing is you are literally planning out different appointments you've made to shift different timelines. So something I have that will help you to raise your vibration. You will see in the top of the description box below, it'll help you to raise your vibrational set point so that you start to experience the higher vibrational timelines that you want. It's absolutely free. Download it, listen to it for 21 days. Watch how it changes your life. It's very, very powerful. Also, I have that of daily Instagram posts that I do. I do live communities almost every day. We've been doing live meditations occasionally too. So if you want to be a part of those, you'll see Instagram right here. Other than that, I Hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the little notification here so you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.